Welcome back, everyone. I'm Shinigami Tabris, also known as Boomer, and we're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Welcome to tonight's episode of D&D.
We're starting off our new series, the Caustic Tales of Cress, which is in my own world. And yeah.
Wait, a new series. Oh god, I have to bring in my halfling? I'm joking. Please don't hit me.
I was about to say.
Please don't throw anything at me.
We have characters already made. That's the whole point of 2 weeks ago.
That was a joke, I think.
I'm sorry.
So.
Please don't hurt me.
Yeah.
Woo.
Last we left off, our players were unknown to the world.
We are just born today.
Oh no, the players are unknown to the world. The characters just as much.
So, for everybody that has ever looked at my... I have a wiki that shows things. And this is Cress. The original game that we were playing that started was up here in the town of Farron. I don't know if that's pinging on the stream or not.
The blinking TV is giving me whiplash.
Yeah, the TV's not bad. So, welcome to Cress. Cress is a metropolis city, especially for this time period. Roughly 500,000 people.
That's a lot of fucking people.
It has been around. The city has been around for years.
Ooh. It looks so much better up close.
It's kind of unnerving seeing it up close.
That's a lot of buildings.
That is a lot of buildings. So, Mr. Nicola, you're coming down this road right over here. As you're coming into the city of Cress for the first time, you get to witness you've finally left what would be the coastline, probably for the first time in your life. And it is very daunting first going through this, going from the coastline into a forested, wooded area, and then eventually that the woods start to dissipate a little bit, and you do see fields and mountains and the hills, but there's a lot of plains that you go through. But right before you're getting to Cress, you do start to really notice there's a single mountainscape and a lot of hilly region, and the only thing that you see to begin with on your carriage ride over is the castle. The castle sits on top of a hill in the center of the city, and it is visible for miles away from the city.
It's a big castle.
Big as fuck, boy.
It is, yes, it is a very large castle, and all of the stone is made of black. It's like an ebony black stone with almost a blue hue to it. Even the roof has that bluish hue. I couldn't get a good what I wanted.
So it's almost like a black diamond or an onyx.
Yeah.
Oh.
Castle's supposed to be near the town.
Do what?
So it's supposed to be like Solomon's town.
You're breaking up really bad.
So it's supposed to be like Solomon's town or whatever.
Yeah, sort of, but instead of just a tower, like it's a full castle. So
I just made it with color and all.
yeah.
A full castle of ebon black with shades of midnight blue.
As you start to get closer to the city, you do notice that there are other large towers. They are all in different colors and different shapes, and those towers pan above the rest of the city. And to pick out a few of them, there's one here.
Ooh.
One here.
Okay.
I think there's another one in
There's
the
a one in the
There's
corner,
one on the river's edge,
and then there's one on that southern looking.
and there's one farther than that down.
There's one here. Up in
Oh.
the
Two in the south.
top left corner. Well, there's also windmills.
Okay.
Oh,
And the windmills
Oh.
almost
They
match
look
the
very
towers.
similar.
But they are not as tall. The blades do match the height of the rest of the other wizard towers. But there's only a handful, and they are wizard towers. Like, that is the terminology that everybody refers to them as.
ooh.
And they are house towers, to be exact, for the city of Cress.
House towers?
Family of mages.
Family of mages.
Okay.
Like in Faerun, like the Black Staffs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the tower is large enough that a whole family lives in it. It
Cool.
also has like a small mansion that's at the bottom of it.
Well, that's kind of cool.
But the whole family could hole up in the tower by itself without using the mansion at all.
It's a big tower.
I am scared of them, but I want inside of them.
The city starts off sparse as you're coming into town, but the architecture it's definitely multiple types of architecture throughout the, like, you could tell that the city's grown throughout the years and the architecture's changed. So as you get further away from the center of the city, you get more modern type architecture, whereas the dead center of the city, you do have the stone structures that have withstood time. But there are still, even going into the town, you notice that there are ruins on every once in a while. Some of the streets are well kept and others are not. And then there are certain areas of town that it almost looks like a tent village. But when at closer examination, the tent villages are strictly markets. And there are multiple markets throughout this area.
This place is so pretty.
You've lived here your entire life.
I know, it's so pretty.
As the carriage comes to a stop near the center of town, but not exactly, the driver turns and looks back at you, and he's, "2 more copper and I take you to your place."
How much copper did I get for my trip?
You've basically spent all of what was given to you to begin with.
Okay, so my starting gold of 10 gold or whatever.
Yeah, that's what
Is
you
there-
have left.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Here, 2 copper.
He takes the gold and gives you back your change, and he pockets it, and he just sits there for a while other people get off of the carriage, because you weren't riding alone. But this is basically where he's letting everybody else off is a city stop. But obviously he knew where you were going, which is also another one of those awkward, like, while in your conversation, he knew about you beforehand.
Yeah.
And once everybody else has left the carriage, he holds tight and, like, takes off. And they go down, you go through the city, and you go through the city. And he takes you over to this side of town on the western bank.
Okay.
And as you go through, once you go over the bridge, it goes from what looks like a wharf with dirty, like, with a marketplace and all this other stuff, to you cross the bridge to every house is elegant, well maintained.
Cool.
Oh, you going to posh.
And he takes you to a home that it's, for all the other homes that are around it, it's very similar with white stone facing. It's got a blue roof. The door is jet black. And this is your stop.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
He gives you a nod, and he holds out a wooden token to you.
I'll look at the wooden token.
On it has a little carriage, and on the other side it has the name Dietrich. And this will get one ride from me for other people in town.
Okay. I'll put that in the pouch. I appreciate that as well.
And good luck, and snaps the reins on the horse, and it takes off.
Posh town, huh?
I'll stroke the black tie that I've got, which would actually just be tail from the cat. And look at the building that I'm facing and really wish I knew why I was here. But I guess let's go.
You knock on the door.
Yes.
After a few seconds, the door opens. There is a hunched figure in a green cloak, and it looks at you, and it's hard to see, you can't, the hood of the cloak covers up its face, and it, enter.
Okay. Thank you.
It shuts the door, and then it wait and shuffles off.
Look around the room.
So the room that you're in, it is definitely a foyer of a type. There are two stairs, there's a staircase on either side, and there's about 4 or 5 doors. But there's also a long hall, which is the direction he went. He goes down the hall a little bit and makes a left, and you hear a door open and shut. There's a couple of paintings in the foyer. There's some gold candelabras, and after a couple of minutes, the door opens again, and out comes a gentleman that you have met more than once. This would be Lord Cullen, your patron. He's a elderly gentleman, balding, and he's, Nicola, you finally made it.
Yes, I got your letter. Thank you. Why am I here?
I'm sorry to have brought you out the way that I did, but it is something that was needed. Come with me. And he turns, when he gets to you, he instantly makes a right for him. It'd be to your left, and opens the double doors that are right there. Inside that it's obviously like a sitting parlor. There's a bunch of chairs, a table, there's some drinks on the wall. It also looks like there's some cards that are left on the table where somebody might have played cards at some point recently.
Mm.
And he sit The lord of this manor will be with us shortly.
And yeah, I'll have a seat.
Would you like anything to drink?
Just tea, thank you.
And all he does is he whistles, and the door, one of the side doors opens up, and the green cloaked character looks in, and yes, and he's tea, and the door, like, there's no response. The door just shuts. After a couple of minutes, the green cloak character comes back with a small tray, and on it is some hot tea and some biscuits or cookies. And as soon as he sets the tea down on the table, the two double doors swing open. In comes a man well dressed in a black suit and tie with a blue cape flowing behind him. And he takes off, he's got a large top hat, and as he takes it off, everyone is here. Excellent. And Cullen stands up and like bows and like sort of gives you a nod.
I'll do the same.
And Cullen goes, yes, Lord. This is the trainee that I had informed you of, Nikola Petrov. He, I think you will find him fit for what you want.
Really awkward.
And the guy walks in and like drops his hat on the table, and he just looks up at you, and you can tell that he's like giving you a good like look over, and he's, so our deal will be made. And Collins, yes sir, he's yours. Unfortunately, Nicola, I have to leave you with him. He gave more money for you than what I could ever make back from you being in the college. He's now your patron. Good luck. And like
Nicola's ex-patron.
Lord Cullen instantly gets up and like leaves. And he shuts.
Lord Cullen, if you're heading back towards the college, can you please send this letter to my brothers?
You'll have to find other ways. I will be in Cress for a few days.
Okay.
And he shuts the double doors behind him, and you are left there with your new patron.
Really awkward conversation.
It is.
That's awkward as fuck, considering the guy that paid your way into the college just sold your ass for more money than you'd ever make him.
Who do I have the pleasure of having as my new patron?
My name is Lord Bjork.
B-E-E.
B-J-A-R-K-E. Bjork.
B-J-A-R-K-E.
Yeah. Sort of like the name Bjorn.
Yep.
Yeah. That's it.
Bjork.
It is good to meet you. This is, I'm kind of new to this. This is bizarre. But, what do you have need of me?
A few things. But we will get to that shortly. Your tuition, it's paid up in full for this year already. what I have planned is if you will take a year off and do a little this and that for me, I'll pay the next 3 years in advance.
In other words, you're my slave now. Have fun.
Yeah.
Um,
That's quite an offer. Um, I don't know how I could turn that down.
That's exactly
Yes.
the point, is you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
So, I won't need you every day of this next year, but you are on my beck and call now. And that's what I need. So,
I'm happy for it.
we will have a small place for you to stay in town. You might want to find better accommodations later. For all I have right now is a small hole for you to live in.
Small hole is better than a hammock on a ship. So that works for me.
So, I will have Whistle take you there and show you where you will be staying. I will have a meeting with you later tonight where you shall meet some other interesting people, maybe.
I'm looking forward to it.
And at this, he does a little whistle, and the door opens again, and the green cloaked character like sticks its head in, and he Whistle, take him to where the others are staying, and find him a spot to sleep. And at this, Whistle whistles multiple times at him, and it almost sounds like bird calls. And he, excellent. And he grabs his hat, and I will see you tonight. And he just opens the doors, and he turns and takes up going up the stairs.
I know my character can't see this, but did he manually open the doors or did he flutter them open? Magic.
It'd be kind of cool if you did.
I'm wondering because he just paid for 3 years in advance at the college. I'm wondering as a player.
As a player. It's not.
Okay.
You're not there, so.
All right.
No telling.
I'm just
Yeah,
making
I-
notes.
Do what?
Would I have noticed that?
Let's see here. Passive perception of 14. It looked like he used his hands. So the person that you are referred to as Whistle, like, comes up to you and makes a motion. And it's sort of awkward watching because, like, the cloak is so big and it's almost like a robe that when its hands comes up, there are no hands as it's just covered with the cloth.
He's wearing a giant oversized poncho.
Yeah, basically. But you can see where the hand, like, when he pulls his hand up, like, you can see what would be a hand, like, the reference of a hand, and he makes the, like, come with me motion. And it's
Hello?
awkward, like I said, it's this awkward strut that he has. It almost seems like a hop occasionally. Like he's doing this, like, stutter hop thing.
I like to think of it as an Igor.
I'm thinking of it more as the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh.
With that little step cadence that he always had.
Sort of. Whistle takes you out of this posh area, back across the bridge. And once he gets across the bridge, they instantly make a right. And you start going into, like, marketplace, and there's a dock not far from it. So this sort of feels like home to you to an extent because there is the river and the dock and the marketplace for the dock.
Yeah.
And he takes you to a small building, and the door is definitely old and used and almost falling apart. And he carefully opens it. And when I say carefully, you can see as he's sort of picking it up and maneuvering it, some of the boards that make it shift. And he opens the door, and as he's opening it, he starts making more bird calls. And as he makes the bird calls, another gentleman in a cloak, and when I say gentleman, like this guy sits about 6 foot tall, maybe 6'5", and he comes around, and stout. He comes around the corner and he walked. And Whistle just whistles at him again, and I hate you sometimes. Use words. And Whistle, no!
Whistle is just 3 gnomes in a trench coat. Whistle is just 3 gnomes in a trench coat.
And what's with this one? And there's a couple of whistles, and he's, words! And finally, wizard. What? A new one? And Whistle shrugs at him, and fine. And the big guy turns and grabs your bag.
I'm sorry, this is comical.
And it's a one hand grabs the bag and picks it up, and I hope you don't mind others. And he turns and starts to walk.
I'm more worried about the implication of why it sounded he was surprised when he said, a new one? It's like, what? Did the last one die already?
But
Again, not really giving much of a choice.
he takes you the little spot that you were, all it was a single doorway, and he takes you in that door, and it's what looks like would be the living room, kitchen, dining area, all wrapped into one, and there's 3 doors. And you're through that one, and he shoves the door open and takes your bag and just throws it in.
So grumpy.
Okay.
And again, I hope you don't mind others, or else I'll take care of you.
Oh, yes, I'd love a crepe then.
No problems.
Good.
Don't mind others.
And at this, he takes, he pulls his hood back, and standing in front of you is an orc.
Oh!
One of his tusks is missing. And it looks like it has been, beat off or chopped off.
This guy collect magical creatures.
And he's your day to cook, and just turns and walks over to one of the other doors and opens, and it's one of those in and out as soon as he can, and he does have to duck to get into this door.
Dude, you're in a freshman dorm.
It feels like.
You're in a freshman dorm and you just met the dorm master and the guy that's going to rub your back in the shower.
Ours is gentle.
Oh, such strong hands. Can you get deeper into the lats?
So, your room there are 2 beds in there. One of them already has what looks like sheets or a blanket or whatever you want to call it on it. The other one is just a barren mattress. When you go over and press, it is definitely a straw mattress, and not good straw.
Prickly kind.
Yeah, it the mattress is very rough. Uh, it it'll definitely be better than sleeping on the stone floor, but not by much.
Awesome.
You got in the trash hole.
I think he's getting Doctor Strange.
Going to take off my cloak and lay that on the mattress.
Mattress.
Yeah, quote unquote mattress. And Pixel will hop down as well off his shoulders. Guess this is gonna be our home for a little bit. Yeah, I'm not sure. That's my stuff, and I'm trying to see if I think I have see if I got a bedding or something.
You should have a bedroll.
Yes, I have a bedroll. I'll roll out the bedroll onto that. Take the plug back up. Remembering that I have that.
So, is there anything specific you want to do before we cut over to the other two?
I guess trying to figure out what he means by it's my turn to cook.
You have rice and an egg. Make a 5-star meal.
Are you gonna
So I could do a little bit.
like what? Are you just going to the common room, or what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, I just look around the common room and just try to assess my surroundings and see what best way I can do to cook.
Okay, with basically you look around for a little bit. There's a small little there's a fireplace in the common room, and then there's a smaller what looks like an earthbound oven next to it. There's a couple of pots and pans that are hanging in the next to the fireplace and so forth. There is 2 tables in the room. Like I said, one's sort of like the dining room table, and then you would assume that the other one, with where it's sitting in the room, that it's probably the prep table for making food.
Yeah.
Underneath it, there are bags of grain, potatoes, flour, stuff like that. There are vegetables that are hanging, whether it's carrots, onions, stuff like garlic, and so forth. The place is pretty well prepped for anything, but you don't see any meat readily. There's just a bunch of vegetables and flour.
Looks like you're having fried vegetable soup. Not even fried.
No. He has
We
9
can
gold,
serve
98,
some
9 silver, 98 copper. And he's right near the market. He can easily make a shepherd's pie with everything in there if he goes and gets some meat.
So what are you wanting to do?
I was just mostly wanting to look. I'm gonna guess. What time of day is it at the moment?
It's about noon.
Noon. I don't know if is the other roommate out and about, or do I see him just waiting for food?
No, you are the only one in the common room.
I guess I will start prepping some stuff to make a stew or whatever,
Okay,
and that can be it for now.
so you're gonna do a vegetable stew.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna cut over to Charlie and Sigrid. Do you guys what? I didn't look. What is your? You're staying at a.
I don't know if anyone will technically have me.
Okay.
I might be sleeping outside the city in a tent.
You could probably sleep in the city in a tent.
All right.
So you're probably up in. Oh, can't see that.
It's too zoomed in.
There we go. You're up in this neighborhood,
All right.
whether it's either side of the road, on that side of the river. In this neighborhood, it is a little bit more squalid. It's not poor, like it's not so poor that people don't have houses and whatnot, but there are tent houses. There are some like ramshackle houses.
It's close to a shanty town.
Yeah.
Okay.
But closer to the actual like river
Mhm.
are actual buildings and housing. So it looks like this is what would be the newer build or expansion for the city. As you can see on the outside of the walls, there's farmsteads.
Okay.
That's what these are out here. There are a couple of buildings that are outside of the walls themselves where people just they don't want to live inside the city because it does cost money to live in the city, but they build a house basically on the road leaving the city, and it's some of them are stables and stuff like that, and it's the concept of like you don't want to pay taxes on your horse, like leave it here.
Gotcha.
Now you're not guaranteed your horse when you come back, but
Touche.
We got some robbers in here.
We're in a metropolis. Yes.
yeah.
Thievery abounds, but where's Batman? Sorry,
Nonsense.
Owlbear Man.
Albaran.
Come on, Chalice and Javi, hop in.
Um,
We know, you're busy tonight. You're getting set up.
but so is there a specific like?
It's noon, so I might be on some kind of midday break if I'm still doing apprenticing.
Okay. Are you working for a smith or the?
I'd be working for a smith.
Okay.
Its character is not overly religious.
Okay.
Best way to put it, you remember Kashaw from Critical Role?
Yeah.
God, as far as doesn't really worship.
Okay. So that was where I was like,
Yeah.
are you going to be at one of the? There's a few different places of like temples.
Okay.
But that means you're going to be more along the lines.
He would be doing apprenticeship and whichever temple would help him better control what the hell's happening.
Okay. That would definitely be on the eastern side.
Okay.
So that temple is more along the lines they're a little more open to a lot of things. They do have it's not just a single god at that temple.
Yeah.
And that's also where you'll probably find more smiths that are more willing and open to talk to you.
Okay. Yeah. Then definitely on that side. But hunched over. I'm pulling a whistle.
And you're living with him, or
Yeah, pretty much. He found me one day, and I just kind of stuck around because I was stealing his stuff.
Oh my god, I have a baby Yoda. Oh god.
so as you're working on your smithing and all, around the a little afternoon,
Mhm.
Someone you have dealt with on numerous occasions, and you still have not completely understood them. You just know that they're one of the people that comes and either picks up items that have been ordered, or comes and collects you to
Mhm.
take you to like their patron. Shows up, and we've already sort of met this character.
Oh.
As the green cloaked, hobbly, hunched over creature that is known as Whistle arrives.
Whistle now added to allies.
And Whistle, comes into the area where the forge is, and it is that you understand why they're called Whistle, because the first thing you always hear is a whistle of some sort, followed by bird sounds.
But do I understand their meaning?
You do not.
Ting, ting.
And it is for how loud a forge and all is.
I'm hearing it over that.
Yeah. So the whistle, when Whistle whistles, it's one of those that also...
He Snow Whited the fuck out of this place.
Huh?
He Snow Whited the fuck out of this place.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those, when he whistles, you could probably, if the city, if he wanted to, you've probably heard him across like multiple blocks of the city.
That's fucking ridiculous.
He's allowed.
Yes, he can be. And he only gets as loud as he ever needs to get somebody's attention.
Turn and face him.
Again, the blackness of the cloak behind, and it does a wave.
Hello, Whistle. How can I help you? Of course. Let me gather everything. I am currently working. I don't know where she is right now.
You get this like,
She might be at the house, or I check around the back of the forge where some of the scrap metal gets thrown.
I'm playing with it.
Never mind, I found her. We have to go, Charlie. What that means. I straight up don't know what the fuck that means.
when you like, you can say stuff that like,
No, like, I'm telling you, like,
yeah,
if
your character might not know.
Okay. I'm lost. What?
Dealer!
I'm like,
What would dealer mean?
Dinner!
The patron?
Dinner!
Oh. I don't know if you're saying dealer.
Dinner.
Dinner.
Din din.
We're invited over.
Kinda.
Time? We don't know what time dinner would be. Shit. Alright. I'll tell the forge master. And I'm gonna start fucking packing everything up. Because if I deal with Whistle and this is the patron, I'm not pissing him off.
Yeah, and this guy's bought multiple things from you.
Yeah.
Throughout the time, he's also odd. Like, it's odd if there's something that you have that you just cannot get rid of. He purchases it, whether it's like, if it's something that you've been holding on to for months and nobody's purchasing it, and you're like, I really need to get rid of it. He's the type of, like, it is one of those awkward things that, like, he will just buy it. He might not buy it for full price,
yeah,
but he will buy it and get it off of your hands. What he does with all of this stuff that he's purchased from you, you have no idea.
I'll go ahead, temper and cool the, I have to check something right quick, because I don't exactly remember what it was. I'm gonna check to see if, after tempering and cooling, this blade fits the scabbard. No. Go ahead, just leave it on the anvil. Pack everything up. My trinket is an ornate scabbard that no blade fits so far, and I'm not cutting open said scabbard to figure it out.
Okay.
So, different tests on, will this size work? Nope, too loose, that's not going to work. Too big. not the right angle, blah, da, 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 da. Slowly but surely. Start packing everything up. Grab some of the nails that I worked on today. Drop them off at whichever little house is getting built next. Not charging for the nails there. Just leaving them on the step. Hood up, cloak up, full whistled. Head over to the river and start washing up for dinner.
Okay.
Fuck are you doing?
No. I was supposed to decide that. I'm just kind of doing whatever. I'm pretty much gonna follow you around like a freaking puppy. So.
God. Getting no time for myself. Good. But when I'm hunched over walking, I just look like a very, very tall whistle, essentially.
Yeah.
I don't want a lot of people seeing me.
Okay.
Go ahead, get washed up and everything. Make sure everything's closed down, locked up.
I'm bouncing around and playing in the water.
Nice. There's not really much that my character wants to do.
Okay. So,
But I was told that we had dinner and that's something I don't have to pay for tonight, which is good.
But you know them.
Yeah.
back to Nicola. You made yourself a stew of some sort?
Not me, but like made just a big pot of it for whoever's gonna be here.
Okay.
Since I know I'm supposed to be having dinner elsewhere, I figured I would just leave it be.
Okay. As you're cooking, there's a couple of people that come in and out. One of them is the giant orc. He comes, and every time that he goes to the door, he pulls up the cloak and like hides his face and everything else. And at one point, he turns and looks at you, and he's, "I'm going out for a while. Don't burn my place down."
He is the dorm master. Awesome.
And all he does is, it's as he says that, he like opens the door and he grabs what looks like a pack of, you would guess it's like limbs or something that's all wrapped up, and then just walks out and shuts the door behind him. The other two people that are living with you, one of them's another human. The second one, you're not quite sure what they are. Because again, they stay in a cloak. But the only reason that you know that they're not human is when they reached out to grab a potato off of the table at one point. The hand and arm is covered in fur.
Oh, it's a cat.
Maybe.
But they're one of those, like, as soon as they grab the item, they go into the other door that is not the orc's room and not your room.
Okay.
But nobody stops to talk to you. Like it's almost like you're supposed to be there, but and that you've been there forever, but obviously you're not.
Right. No, whenever it gets closer to time towards dinner, I'll set the pot to simmering. Figure whoever wants it can get it, and then put on my cloak, grab my staff, and head out.
Okay.
Going back through the way that whistle took me.
Okay. It's not too hard to find it, especially since it's only a few turns. You are right on the river, so it is easy to also follow the road that's next to the river to the bridge and so forth. You make it to the lavish home. Knock, and when you knock, the door is opened again by Whistle. And Whistle whistles at you and makes some bird calls and like motions for you to come in. Shuts the door, and it's they dinner and few. And
Say that again?
dinner and few.
Okay.
And he motions to the double doors that lead to the sitting parlor.
I'll make my way there.
When you open the doors, sitting at the one of the tables with a cigar in his mouth is the giant orc.
Yes.
And he takes the cigar out and he's, "Is my place still standing?"
Yes.
Good. And he puts
I left it.
he puts the cigar back in his mouth and he picks up the cards and starts to like shuffle them together.
This guy literally collects weird people.
Mhm.
He's a scout for weird and odd people that nobody else wants to deal with. He's a collector.
I think he's actually getting Doctor Strange.
After a couple of minutes of you sitting there, and the orc like shuffles the cards together, and he looks up at you and he, "Game?"
We better?
Do you want to put money on it?
No, that's what I was asking.
No? Yes or no?
He said no.
Hey.
No, at the moment.
Fine. And so he starts like dealing out cards to play what looks like a game of solitaire, or similar to solitaire.
You're right.
And
You have any twos?
he just sits there and smokes his cigar and plays the card game, not even acknowledging, other than asking you whether to play or not. He doesn't acknowledge you. Is there anything you want to talk to him about or anything like that while you wait?
Yeah, I was gonna ask him. Am I the first? I'm guessing I'm not the first wizard to stay with you.
No. You're the fifth? Maybe sixth.
Is this like fatal turnover, or just they have other things they go to do?
They leave one day, they don't come back.
Don't ask, don't tell. I just run the dorm.
I just live here, man.
Okay. Awesome. Do you enjoy working for Lord
Dark.
York?
The Lord provides a lot of things for those that are willing to help him.
That's good to know.
And he provides better for those that are willing to do things and not ask questions.
Don't tell. I just run the dorm.
Yeah, I will take consideration and try not to do too much.
Good, good. You might get along with some of the others better. So, drink? He stands up and walks over to one of the counters. He grabs 2 wooden mugs and a bottle that is not clear. A lot of the other bottles are clear and you can see what's in them, but this one, it looks more like it's made of ceramic.
Yeah.
And he pulls the cork out of it and pours the 2 glasses and like puts the cork back in and puts the bottle back up and brings it over and sets it down in front of you. And it's sort of funny watching like the orc's hand manipulate these glasses because
Big hand.
Yeah.
Glass.
the glass is probably half the size of his hand.
Oh my god, it's like this.
Yeah.
He's holding a shot glass.
And
You're holding a mug.
Exactly. And he like goes back over to his to the table and he sets his glass down and he's cheers. And like he does, it is like a shot to him. He just like downs it easily and then plops the mug back down.
Before I take a drink, I will wave my hand over the table, and a tiny bowl appears. I will pick up the cup and pour a little bit into it, and pick some hops down and start drinking out of it. Now, cheers, and sip on it.
His cat's an alcoholic.
We don't know that it's alcohol yet.
When he
Cheers, eggnog.
yeah, when he after he like takes his drink, he looks over at the cat and looks at you, and he's, is it food?
No.
Yes.
I bet it would taste good, but oh well. And as you take a sip, like this stuff burns.
Yeah.
And it is. It's a burn of like really bad whiskey, mixed with ale.
Ugh.
Oh, fun.
Where's it at?
He hit it.
Yeah, I would say, where's that?
Where's that god awful Scott?
And he looks at the cat again, and he's yours or another's.
Do what?
Is it yours or another?
I mean, he is my friend. He's my companion. First, don't listen to him when he's been drinking. He talks shit.
Right.
My only friend in the world is a goblin and a cat.
He continues to like deal out the cards and play the game.
Mm.
At this point, there's a knock on the double doors, and the doors open, and standing there is a hunched over figure with what looks like a child by their side.
Ooh, people! I wonder what. Ooh, let me ask all the questions. Who are you? What are you doing here?
Who are you asking that to?
The new one.
Okay.
Introduce yourself first before asking questions.
Why?
Well, first, you didn't get behind your ears and just licks thumb underneath the hood, up the side of the head.
Stop it!
Do I know the orc's name?
Nope.
Oh,
You've never seen the orc either.
okay. But there is an orc in here that is not disguised.
Yep.
Stand all the way up to full 7'6". Flip the hood back. Pleasure to meet you both. I'm Sigrid. And you?
I'm Charlie.
Pat.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Nicola Petrov. And this is Pixel. I don't know his name.
I immediately go over to the cat and start petting it.
He accepts such switches.
The orc takes the cigar out of his mouth and just smiles, and with the one tusk, it's like this weird, awkward, like grin that comes across his face, and I'm Gall Crusher,
Gall Crusher?
called Crusher.
Oh, he's called Crusher. Thank you. Pleasure.
And then he puts the cigar back in, and when you now notice where he's putting the cigar, it's where his the broken tusk is.
Style. Crusher, you ask if that's food? Pointing at the cat.
He says no.
Yeah, probably why he named it.
I know much people that name sheep for us to eat later.
There's this lovely old couple that lives at a farm right at the edge of the mountains on the trail leading, on the road leading north. They have 2 goats. They named one Barbie and the other one Qin. Therefore, barbecuing.
You try to be funny.
Oh
I
no,
like
it's
it.
actually there too.
Like, you see, and it was that,
It's
like,
another. Oh.
it took him a second before he, like, you try to be funny. I like it. And, like, it is the definite, like, it did not go across his brain very quickly.
And so, is there kind of like a cloak rack in here?
Yeah.
Okay, I will go ahead and remove my cloak. I have as clean as I can get them for being common clothes on. But it's a 7'6" Goliath with tattoos up the arms, look like flames. All done in black though. Ash gray skin, black eyes, and muscle bound as fuck. And hang up the cloak and sit down at one of the empty ends of the table. Orc's name is...
When you look over at Nick, he's got tan-ish skin, like he's been in the sun a lot. A black mohawk with a green overcoat and shirt, and it looks like a kilt and some leather boots.
Green overcoat, kilt, leather boots, black mohawk, tanned skin.
Not black skin, just tannish, like
Tanned skin, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I immediately ask you why you're wearing a skirt.
As soon as she says that, there's that slight little chop to the top of the head.
It's fine. It's fine. It's part of our outfit with our ship. It tends to not get. Whenever something catches on fire, you can take it off a lot faster than your pants can.
Oh, well, it makes you look girly.
It's fine.
It's part of the reason I don't wear sleeves. And you see a few burn marks on Sieg's arm.
Crusher looks over and... You play cards?
What game are you playing?
Right now, I'm not playing any good game. We could play a good one, though.
What do you have in mind? As I sit down directly across from Crusher. I don't see many non-humans here.
He pulls out, like, a small pouch and, like, starts counting out some coins. And he basically pulls out a couple of silver and about 10 copper. And he puts it on the table.
Works for me. I'll match his bet.
And he's, Good. We play a couple of hands. This is my pot. That is yours.
All right.
And he turns and he looks over at you, Nicola, and he, sure you don't want to play?
As there's two
Sure.
giants sitting at the table, we're just.
Yeah, I'll set up.
So
I'll put in
you're gonna join.
a silver and my 8 copper.
So he starts to deal out a small hand for a game of cards. Trying to remember. I want to say it's D6s. Yes. Roll 3d6. Basically, you're going for pairs and stuff like that. You can pay for more cards. You can also get one redraw, so you can re-roll one of them.
So you can re-roll a single dice.
Yep.
You can buy another one.
Yep.
Okay. And rule of the game is whoever has the highest pair wins.
Basically.
Okay. Or
3 of a kind. 3 sixes basically wins.
okay.
No matter what.
Yay, we're playing poker.
To an extent.
Get 1 redraw.
And how
And
much
if-
for another card?
Same thing.
Costs 2 copper for another card.
All right.
And you don't have to get pairs, but like you can get 1,
can
2,
get a
3,
run.
4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I'll throw in the copper for.
Another card.
Yep. And I'll be up to 3 silver in the pot.
3 copper, you mean?
Oh, I thought it was.
No, he's doing coppers.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then 2 copper. When we did the pot, I was like, everything's in the middle.
No. He
Okay.
he put the 2 silver and the 10 copper
Okay.
in front of him, and then tossed in a copper to start.
Okay.
And he did one redraw. Like he threw 1 card into the thing and drew another one for
All right.
himself.
So I'm paying for another card and saving my redraw at the moment.
Yep. Now you can only use 3 of your cards, so keep that in mind.
Yep. And
So
using
if you
redraw.
pay for a card, you can't use one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will do that.
And
Okay, so-
he did the whole he looked at his hand, threw 1 card, drew another one, and he's sitting.
All right.
And he so I think I win, and he puts in 2 more copper.
Opting for Nicola to go next. It's Crusher Nicola's sake.
I'm gonna throw in 2 copper.
So you meet his bet.
I'll match.
Yes.
2 more.
Okay. Starting with Crusher, he lays down his cards. He has a 4, 5, and a 6.
Damn. I don't know the rules of winning here.
Nicola, what do you have?
I have a 3, 5, and a 6.
Okay.
Pair of 6s.
Pair of 6s. You come close.
The run gets it.
Yep.
What sucks is that I was hoping my reroll was going to be a 4 because then I would have had a pair of 6s with a 4 and a 5.
Oh yeah, then you'd have a run.
Because right now I have 5. I have 2, 5, 6, 6.
Yeah. So the pair of 6s is if it wasn't for the fact that it's a 4, 5, 6, if it was a 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
you actually win
Okay.
because it's a low run versus
And
But
we can
he's-
only keep 3 cards.
yeah,
So I would have had 5, 6, 6 in my hand.
yeah.
Ah,
He again.
I mean, good waiting. Might as well.
He starts to pull the cards back together, and there's a whistle, and he down birds.
Minus 5 copper. Wait.
And he looks up, and he's, what is it? And there's bird calls, and he's, fine, fine. And he puts the cards down, and we've been summoned. And he picks up all of his winnings and tosses them back in the little pouch.
All right.
And
Oh, I would not have any of this on.
We maybe play later?
I'd be fine with that. It's not often you see somebody that's not human in the city anymore. Well,
you don't go
almost
to the
ever.
right places.
You're right. As I'm ducking
I
under
try
the
to-
door.
I try to peek and look and see what's underneath the cloak of Whistle because I'm always trying to figure it out.
Every time you peek into like Whistle's cloak, all you see is black.
It's 3 gnomes in a trench coat with darkness cast under it, damn it. The whistles are directions.
I keep trying to. I'm gonna keep trying every single time I see him.
Oh, that's fine.
Why are you upskirting the servant?
I have no manners.
Obviously.
So Whistle leads you guys through another set of doors, and there's a small table, and Whistle plops down, and Crusher sits next to him, and all the chairs except for one are on sides of the table. There's just one at the head.
I'll sit across from Crusher.
I guess I will sit next to you.
Now you can look
I'll
under
take
the
it.
table to see under the cloak.
Where are you sitting, Nicola?
I'll take whatever was open after that.
There's a chair on either side.
Oh, on either side of the head,
Yeah.
his left side.
Okay. So, as you're sitting and waiting, all of a sudden, like, one of the doors swings open, and in comes floating platter that sits in the middle of the table, and then the lid comes off of it, and underneath the lid is a small pig,
Yes.
and Crusher. Where's mine?
Oh, I thought I was getting another one. I thought this one was yours.
And he's looking around, and Whistle like starts making bird calls, and he's, I hate you, birdie. I hate sharing that.
We're gonna need 2 more pigs.
And in comes another tray, and this time when the lid comes off, you can see that like Crusher sort of leans, hoping that there's another pig, but there's not.
Oink, oink.
It's all that's underneath this one is a couple of like cooked vegetables,
Okay.
and some bread. And he, oh, you were right. We're sharing. He, well, is the Lord coming? Whistle makes bird noises again, and he's, fine. We eat alone. He'll be here shortly. He, like, instantly reaches out, grabs one of the legs of the pig, and, like, rips it off, and just sets it down on his plate, and grabs a thing of bread. Whistle, on the other hand, like, yeah, he does. He takes a knife, cuts off a small flank.
Why do his hands? Oh wait, is he still in the cloak?
Still in the cloak.
Mother. This is gonna be like the true quest of this campaign is going to be what's under the cloak.
What's under the cloak?
And this
And-
black void.
He pulls a little bit of meat off and grabs like vegetables and stuff and piles them on his plate. And Crusher, how about it?
I immediately grab a handful and put it on my plate and just start eating really frantically. No silverware.
You see the disapproving look of the person who's been helping take care of you and try and teach you manners. But then Sieg rips off a leg. Rips off the leg that's on the plate. Politely, like with silverware, like bread, obviously with the hands, but getting anything else using ladles and shit like that. If it is hand food, I am using hands. Everything else, I'm trying to be respectful.
No, I'm just all out.
Why am I getting flashes of Deadpool with Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead?
Yeah, only this one's even more volatile.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'll reach and get myself some food, and I'll cut off a little piece for Pixel as well.
I start pocketing little scraps here and there in my pockets.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
well, this is where we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with the continuation of this in a few minutes. We're going to take a break, get stretch, get some food and water or whatever. Stick around, and we'll see you guys in a few minutes. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Shinigami Tabris. I want to say thank you to Ashley for coming in and saying hi to us a few minutes ago. And without further ado, let's get back into this game. Where we left off.
I was gorging my face.
And stuffing your pockets.
Yes.
Stuffing pockets.
Charlie, what do you even look like?
I haven't described myself. I have short, choppy brown hair, I have tan skin, and I am super skinny and noodly.
Noodly.
Yeah, I'm like a tall, skinny child.
You have both your hands.
By tall,
Do
skinny.
you have
Yeah,
both of your hands?
No, I do have both
Okay.
my hands
I was
right
like,
now.
do you actually have a robot arm?
I have both my hands right now, but I
Okay.
do have this cool
Okay.
thing with my weapon that makes it look like I have a robot arm.
That's cool.
So, as you're
Roll the sleeves
finishing up your dinner,
Meat.
It is one of those like
It's delicious.
you eat in silence basically as Crusher, like all you're hearing is like a slurping and like he eats the bone too.
Like,
So you get that
I'm trying to
crunchy-
keep up with him, and then right as he's finishing, it's just snapping the bone, and I'm sucking the marrow out.
He doesn't even snap the bone. He just bites into it and starts to chew.
Yeah, but he's a full-blooded orc. But I'm at least having the marrow too.
But and when he, when everybody's done eating, the plates magically like pick up again.
As they're leaving, I'm taking the apple from the pig's mouth.
That's already
Stuffing-
gone, probably.
If the apple was still there, I was gonna stuff it in Charlie's pocket.
No, if it hadn't been picked up already, either Whistle or him or Crusher has like all that's gonna be left on that thing is a little bit of bones, and it is basically where Crusher's gonna look at the bones and be like, "I'm full."
That was the best meal I've had in a long time.
And the ones where all you did was snap them and get the marrow out.
You gonna
every-
finish that?
Every time that you did that, he's like, "You wasting some of it."
Snap the end off, use it as a straw now. Oh god, that looked horrible. I can't say the joke. because
I'm
it's-
disappointed in you.
after the plates are gone, you're sitting around for not too long, and in comes Lord Bjork.
I stand up.
And as soon as he enters, like Crusher and Whistle both stand and sort of bow.
Stand, bow.
I look confused.
Pick up by the neck.
And he makes a motion and for everybody to sit back down, and like Crusher and Whistle both sit, and he's so thank you for coming on my request. I know that I don't use you often, Sigurd, but I have things that need to be obtained. And you've done it before, so I figured, why not ask? And your little child, she might be interested in this.
How can we say no? You've been generous to us.
Good.
Well, she's not mine, so it's up to her.
Right. Anyways, he pulls out of his, like, pocket. At first you can't tell what it is until he tosses it on the table, and it sort of bounces and skitters and stops, but as it's doing that, it makes a very metallic noise. And I found this recently. There are more. The others got away.
The other?
I pick it up and inspect it.
It looks like a beetle, but it's made of metal.
I take it from you and I start looking at it and studying it.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
It's right here in the hands, like. As like taking this quick glance, do I recognize it at all? Okay. Do I at least recognize the metal?
17.
17. So she snatches it out of your hand and starts fiddling with it. You're able to pry open the back part of the carcass, where the wings would be, and underneath it are wings, and under the wings is clockwork.
That's your specialty.
So, I don't know how they're made. I don't know where they're from. Which is why I have all of you here. A wizard for those to figure out what possibly could be causing it to have life. I asked for you, Sigurd, for the child more than you, but you keep her safe. Because it's definitely something interesting. I don't know what they do. I don't know why they were here. I want that found.
Did they attack?
I only found 4 of them at the time. I'm sure if there were more, it would be a possibility, but the one was easily taken care of.
You said the others were taken?
They fled.
Oh. It looked like they were made out of iron, nickel, anything like that.
It looks like copper and something else. It's hard to really...
Unless it's disassembled and I get a really good look at the metals.
So, it'll be hard for me to send this to you, Paige, but I'll find a way to get you the picture in a little bit.
Okay.
Ooh, that's so cool.
Lord Bjork, did you manage to see what maybe type of, if there was any magic aura coming from it?
Even though I am your patron for the college, I don't go to the college. My unseen servants are brought to me via other means.
Would Lord Bjork know if I have magic capabilities or not? I would rather not test it. Especially when Nicola just mentioned the college.
So,
I could easily take this apart and try and figure it out for you. Or help you. Look at the metals at least, because I don't know metals.
I would need metals and blueprints. But you need to be speaking to Lord Bjork. And mind your manners.
so if you're able to figure out all of the where they're from, what they're doing, of course there's income for it. And at this point, Whistle starts to make chirps, and you're here for a reason, just wait. What do you think you will need for this?
For disassembly and recreation?
Finding where they're from.
Oh. Access to a library, research materials will be my guess. Charlie?
Anything you need?
Mechanics question?
Do what?
Game mechanics question for you.
Okay.
Since I have trained, do I still need to roll on the first level?
No.
Like if I do it for a full spell?
No.
No. Okay. Then if you give me 10 minutes, let me cast a spell to see if there's any aura with it before you disassemble it.
I hand it to him.
No. shift over just to get in clear space, and going through my book, going out some sigils and everything. I will then do detect magic.
Okay. You do detect magic on it.
Say that again?
You said you do detect magic on it?
Yes.
Okay.
How blind does he go in this house? Tech magic hits everything in a 30-foot radius.
Oh.
30-foot radius. Yeah.
You were surrounded by unseen servants. You go blind. There's an unseen servant attempting to fix Charlie's hair. Not working. How did she get bubblegum in there? Why does bubblegum exist? We don't know.
Okay. As you do detect magic on it, the gears and springs start to wind, and it starts to make a loud pitched squeal. At this point, it starts to transform into what looks like a sort of like a worm.
Oh.
But the thing is it seems to be expanding, which is sort of awkward to watch this thing that would fit in your hand to become larger and larger.
Transformers, Beatles in disguise.
It turns into, like I said, it looks sort of like a worm, but on the left and right hand side, there are wheels that are made of spikes. It has a muzzle, and eyes, and it lashes out at you. And I now need initiative.
Great.
And for its lash out, because you weren't anticipating, 21 to hit.
Yep. Jesus Christ, yeah.
I mean, I rolled really well there, so.
Yeah. Even me trying to do a shield wouldn't help with that one.
So you take 4 piercing damage, and basically what happens is its mouth opens, and what looks like its tongue is actually a dagger that stabs into you.
Ow.
And as soon as it connects, you feel a jolt of electricity go through you as well, so you take 4 piercing damage and 1 lightning damage.
Oh shit.
You
That's what, half your health, right? Mr. Wizard.
know,
Okay. I need a dice for him. And a dice for him. Man, it just kept going lower and lower.
That's not good.
25 to 20.
Oh no.
$15 to 20.
17.
$10 to 15.
13.
$5 to 10.
They got a 7.
7. And Starting with Whistle. Where's Whistle's page? There it is.
It'd be really cool if Whistle was a robot.
Whistle, an automaton.
Whistle like moves his robes, and out comes a small short sword. And he makes these weird bird calls and dives forward. And that's definitely a hit.
I wonder if it does 192 damage because he's an assassin rogue.
Okay. And that's 5 reduced down to 2.
Great, it has resistance.
Nikolai.
Not getting a shield that we may be trying to like get some info off of it. I will cast magic missile.
Okay.
Cool. So that's 3, 6, 10 force. Yeah, 10 force.
Okay. Its turn. It starts to try to dig through the ground. And because of a thing, it does not provoke an attack of opportunity.
Sweet.
Sigrid.
Well, that changes what I was going to do. I'm going to try and grab it and pull it back up. I'm going to attempt to grapple it.
You can do so with disadvantage.
Sir, that's just rude.
I mean, it just burrowed into the ground.
I know, we're trying to get this so we can learn information on it.
Yep.
Damn. 15.
Just miss.
Yep.
Crusher. Stands up. Runs to the corner. Grabs a spear off of the wall and chucks it. He misses. Yeah, definitely misses. Charlie.
I don't really know what to do. I can't do anything. I was trying to figure out if I could do something about it, but I guess I just have to attack it. I guess I will cast Firebolt on it.
Okay.
The cantrip. I don't know what I have to roll.
Cantrip.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a 22 to hit.
That hits. At disadvantage because you can't see it.
Oh.
Look at the ground.
23.
Okay, so 22 hits.
Yeah. Where's my D10? Is that... That's a 5.
5 damage.
Yeah.
It's force damage or fire damage?
It's fire.
We're all doomed.
Okay. I need everybody to give me a dexterity saving throw.
Hey.
Of course.
Of
Makes
course, I
sense.
fail.
13.
Yeah.
Charlie?
6.
20.
Okay. Charlie, you and Crusher are the only two that failed. You take 14 lightning damage
Oh,
Ugh.
shit.
as the machine explodes underground.
Oh my gosh. I'm crying because I was just going.
This bitch just self-destruct. Voltorb, you self-destruct. Or it took enough damage that it exploded.
That's what it was.
Yeah, oh, it's a dwarven automaton. It's a dwarven spider.
Did we take half?
Oh, good question. Yeah, everybody else takes 7.
I got down to 7. Please be no. I'm just crying because it was the perfect mechanical item, and I was just like. It was so well made.
Oh.
The
It's
only
not
person
blood.
that
I'm
doesn't
sure
look
you
like
can recover pieces of it.
the only person that doesn't look like they are injured at all is Lord Bianca.
He used evasion.
And he well, that was interesting. Now do you understand why I want these to be found?
Yes.
I'm still crying.
How you narrows down your suspects.
I don't know who it is. I have no idea. And if you're wanting for the people that I've done wrong, that's a very long list.
I'm trying to pick up the pieces the best I can.
You're having to, like, some of it's, like, buried in the ground. Because, like, when it exploded, since it was already underground,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So, question.
But if we can get all the pieces, I can make a new one.
Yeah.
My own.
When it attacked after I cast that spell, was I able still to see a wound in it?
Were you able to see what?
What kind of magic is running it?
It didn't let you finish casting.
Hmm.
Oh, okay, so it was while I was in the middle of the ritual on it.
Yep.
Okay.
That was so sad.
That was a wizard's trap.
Can you help me get the
Because I didn't get to
pieces?
finish detecting magic on it before it attacked me.
There's a lot of things that seem to be traps around here.
Interesting.
But do you now see why I need different expertise in different things now?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, is it worth your time, or do I need to find others?
I'd like to be in. I'd like to figure this out.
I'm already putting one of the cogs back together. Put two of the broken pieces together and cast Mending. Which is a cantrip. Seal it. Seal it. Set.
Swear to God, if you drop a fireball on us.
That was a cantrip. Why do you think I didn't guiding bolt it?
I don't do rolling cantrips.
I honestly wanna find out who's making these things so I can ask them how they made them because I want to make
Then help me get the rest of the pieces.
them. I am.
Because then I'll be able to recreate the pieces.
So, Nicola, you will help these two. And if you need any help, ask Rush or Whistle for something. They might be able to join you occasionally.
Yay, companions.
Yeah, sounds good.
I have other things to attend to. Whistle, and he like hands an envelope to Whistle, and the over, that weird over gloved hand like grabs it and like without it actually going into somehow the page, you can watch it do this weird malformation where it like wraps itself around the cloak and then goes inside the cloak.
Whistle is nothing but a sentient bag of holding.
And
if that were the case, that would be amazing.
you can hear coming through the cloak like the rustle of paper, and then you hear like bird calls, and Crusher, quiet you.
Chirp, chirp, chirp.
And the Lord looks over at him and shakes his head, and you have all the information that I have. Good day. And he gets up and like leaves.
Wow.
I'll put it this way: you saw how tiny that thing was to begin with.
It expanded. Yeah.
Even the expanded
It's-
version of it is super tiny.
Trying to get as many of the pieces as possible, even if it's one of those like nowhere near recoverable, which it's not.
No.
She now has new stuff to tinker with,
Okay.
and she can get her hand in the hole and get more pieces.
You really want to keep digging your hand in that hole?
Oh God. Yay, new burns.
So, what are you guys doing?
Coughing blood.
Nothing good.
Well, I thought we were just gonna go back wherever we came from.
Where are your steak?
I don't actually know where we stay. Is it that same spot on the map?
Yeah.
Okay. We are on the other side of the river. On the northeastern side of the road. Leading towards Farron.
I'm on the west bank here, on the other side of the river. I think we definitely need to take a rest and recover from this bullshit.
Good thing it was dinner.
Good thing we had dinner, for sure.
No, I'm just referring to it as dinner time, so you can go to bed when you
Yeah.
get home, and it not be weird.
Boomer, just have a realization.
Yeah.
Pixel was on the dinner table. I had moved away to do the ritual, like on another table or something. Was he injured by an explosion?
Was he on the ground?
No, I had him on the table.
There's another
Next.
question.
If he was on the
Right,
table,
right.
then he's safe.
Mhm.
Do what?
I don't know where he went. He runs off sometimes.
You there, Paige?
Because I was gonna say, I had to make a save. He only has 2 HP, so it mattered.
No, if he was on the table, he's safe because it was electricity that shot through the ground, that went up your legs.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
How convenient your pet rat wasn't at dinner.
I know. I don't know where he was. I forgot about him, honestly, so I just assumed he ran off.
Little do we know that her pet rat is just any rat that's nearby.
Pet rat isn't any rat nearby, and she's been friendly with them. So just out of nowhere, when it becomes a really stressful situation, a friendly swarm of rats comes in. You end up with a Pied Piper flute.
Is there like a library or research center around here?
Whistle makes some noises, and Crusher. There's multiple libraries. Libraries.
Books.
And he says, and there's some more bird calls, and I don't know that word. And like Whistle starts like pantomiming stuff, and what? Are you talking of wizards? And Whistle makes bird noises again, and oh, holy wizards!
Oh. Clerics.
That's the right word. Whistle like nods, and yes.
I'm in fairly good standings with the temple on the northeast side.
So you are a holy wizard?
Of sorts. Maybe. Nicola, close your ears.
So, I'm surrounded by wizards. You're all dirty.
I'd prefer not to be a wizard if I could at all help it. You see, my complexion, they don't like that. You can't get training at the college if you're not human.
Right.
As I side-eye Nicola at that.
Our shamans have no need for a college.
This is true, but if you get caught using magic and you're doing it dangerously, which means without proper tutelage,
What is tutelage?
learning,
What?
practice, and teachings. If you're not taught correctly of how to do it safely, you can get arrested or executed or stuff like that. And being in a nice large city, I'd rather people not know if I can at all help it.
It's nice large city. We go about, nobody see us.
I like the way you think.
Right, Whistle? And Whistle, like, he nudges Whistle and, like, almost knocks Whistle over. And Whistle, like, the cloak head, like, tips over quickly and, like, there's a loud screech at Whistle. And quiet you! And he, like, tries to swat him and Whistle, like, backs away.
Whistle does have a real face, right?
You've never seen it.
Oh, so it's just the hood always been up?
Always a hood.
Oh, I thought it was we could see a semblance of a face.
Honestly,
it is darkness.
Okay.
One of these days, I'm gonna pull that hood off of him.
One of these days, you're just gonna hop in the cloak and disappear forever.
Just summon dancing lights inside his cloak.
What if Whistle's a Kenku?
That's what I was saying.
Oh.
This guy just collects oddities as
I mean,
I'm
the bird
back
calls
in-
would make sense.
I'm back in that common room and I'm putting my cloak back on, hood up. So, we rest for a bit. And do we go out tonight or in the morning?
I want to sleep.
Let's see for you, Julius.
Say what?
You do want to sleep or you don't want to sleep?
I do.
Okay. I agree. Where is this temple?
I explained him the exact directions of how to get there.
To get where?
To the temple
Where's
that
the
I
name
go
of the
to.
temple? How about that?
We just meet at the temple is fine. In the morning,
Yes.
don't have any beetles explode on you tonight.
Wonderful.
Crusher like grabs a large cloak off of next to where yours was, and like starts to put it on. And we go to the hole, and Whistle like chirps back, and he to the hole.
Tweet, tweet. To the hole.
I will follow them to the hole.
It's not hard to follow Crusher back to the hole because even though he's huge and lumbering, but as he's doing it, like you see him grab like a candle as he's about to go out the door, and he's trying to light his cigar with the candle as he's walking down the street. So it is definitely like he doesn't really care if somebody sees his face or not, even though he's got the hood up and everything. It is that awkward like.
I don't have any cantrips that do fire, so I can't just like produce flame and hold it up to him.
But
Control flames, so have the candle flare up a little bit for him.
when you do that, he like throws it down and he. What the?
I like this orc guy.
He's surrounded by a bunch of magic users.
And he's not a magic user.
He's not.
I call him Grumpy Orc until I knew his name.
But
Just trying to help.
that was you? You burn my face next time I beat you.
Join the club, and I'm holding up the burned ass arm. And like they're old burn marks too.
And he takes the cigar and like he really pulls on it and he's luckily it's lit. And like starts to continue the walk. And he does
pick up a candle and have it turn the flame turn into like a dancing cat and hand it over to Charlie.
it has no flame on it once he throws it down because the fire would like if you think about it, that much wind as he's throwing it a candle down would have put it out.
Okay, never mind then.
Because all it is a candle, not a torch.
Right.
I'm kicking up rocks as we walk, and I'm just like, it was really pretty beetle.
And all the metal that I noticed, it was copper.
No.
Okay.
Give me a nature roll.
Oh shit. No. Not with a 7.
With a 7, so you do know that there was copper, a little bit of steel. There was a couple of metals that you have no idea what they are. But they were very light for what they were. So.
Thank you. And I'll be saving some of the scrap pieces.
For Nikolai, you get back to the hole as it's called, and Crusher like goes in first, and as soon as he like opens the door, there's the one that had the fur still has his cloak on, and you hear, "There was no meat in the stew. And Crusher turns and looks at you, and he's, are you one of those weird ones that eat nothing but vegetables?
Fucking druids.
No, I didn't know it was.
You should ask.
So,
We take that from your pay.
So like that Nicola hasn't asked a single name yet. It's like, gotcha.
And he makes a motion to the person with the fur, and they just, they do the whatever and go into their room.
God, man, you're supposed to make dinner. You forgot the meat, bro. Worst first impression ever, man.
I assume since they grabbed a potato earlier that they'd be fine with some veggies.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
So, you make it through a long night's rest. For Nicola, it's an uncomfortable one, as you hear throughout the night. You have this whistle that is constant, along with an orc snoring, and no matter how you try to hide it, like putting pillow over your head, whatever, it is loud, it is obnoxious, and for your first night trying to sleep through that, it is painful.
He's got one hand right here. His cat's over on this side purring just to try and muffle it out.
I was thinking,
And when I say there's a constant whistle, it is a high pitched yeah, there.
Like
I
a
don't.
tea kettle?
Yeah, like a tea kettle going off occasionally. But the whistle isn't constant through the night, but it is it comes up and then it goes away, and then it comes up and goes away.
It's
whistle
snoring.
snoring.
maybe had one place to stay.
Oh, poor baby. You don't want to stay with us. Charlie will just steal all your shit.
But
Only things I need.
Like all of my fucking metal.
I need that.
No, you don't. You don't need shit.
you make it through your long night's rest. What are you doing in the morning?
Meeting those people.
Waiting at the temple.
Okay.
Eating some breakfast and maybe
And-
going to the temple.
From last night's events, I'll go ahead and be wearing my chainmail and have the shield on the back.
Fine.
Nicola, when you wake up, Whistle is already up, and there's what looks like bacon that's on the table, cooked.
He screams out,
And he makes a motion that you can have some of it, and he also points to the cheese and the bread.
Thank you, Whistle.
You get a weird bird call, and then he think and you can see that he thinks for a second, and he okay.
he's not used to people being nice to him.
He does another bird call, and then again, it's there's thought, and it's I come.
Oh.
If you'd like to come, we're glad to have you with me.
Okay.
This is a fucking Kenku.
Those are
Gotta be.
the bird people, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The ones that mimic everything.
Oh yeah.
That's how he said okay the same way. So,
Yeah.
okay. Teaching you a new phrase. It's go fuck yourself. Say it to Crusher every time he's mean to you. Go fuck yourself. Why? Sitting at the temple, hood up, but with the holy symbol out. Or no, it's not a holy symbol. It's the emblem on the shield.
I'm eating some of the scraps that I've taken from the house.
We just had breakfast.
I'm hungry.
You're going to get fat.
No, I'm not.
Nobody will marry you then.
I don't want to get married. Boys are gross.
Whistle leads you through the city, and it's quite interesting watching him like dart and weave through the different areas. And at one point, there's a carriage going by, and he like gives you this motion of like hurry up, and he hops on the back of it, and like he puts his hand out for you to like try to like grab it.
Yeah.
He puts a lump of cloak out.
Yeah, I need you to give me a acrobatics check.
In this time period.
That's a natural 20, so 23.
Okay, you're able to hop onto the back of the cart, and when you do, he like makes what looks like a motion with his hand that of putting it above his mouth, or where his mouth would be. And it is like you ride on the cart for a little while, and as it starts to slow down, he like hops off and like starts to scuttle down a alleyway.
You and Whistle are gonna get along great.
Oh,
Every single time I'm trying to peek, every single time I'm going to try and see what it is.
Nicola and I are gonna have to like bail you guys out of jail so much now.
But basically using the carts, like he hops on multiple carts throughout the day, or throughout the morning, and using the carts and just the little bit of walking that you do, you're able to make it through the town pretty quickly. Especially taking the weird routes that he takes, and some of them it is like you'll go down an alley that seems like you're going backwards, and then all of a sudden like there's a hole in the wall, and he goes through the hole.
Nice. Nice.
And that's you've noticed that you've skirted multiple, like you've gone through different walls, and very seldom do you actually go through the main entrance of any of the walls. Some of them there's like an actual door that like he opens the door and goes through the door. Some of them there's a crack that he crawls through. There's one that like it looks like you crawled through somebody's house at one point because it's a window that you crawl in and you crawl out of another window on the other side. And there is like a small like bed and dresser that looks like it's been built into the wall.
Assassin's Creed plus magic as a bird.
And about the only time that you're on the main road is when you have to cross over the bridge to cross the river.
Yeah.
And as soon as he gets to the bridge, like he really like hunkers down, and like you can tell this is the awkward point for him of like having to cross where people are and everything else.
you want to hold my staff? Use it as a cane?
He just like, really hunches over and just head down and walks.
Okay.
But he leads you through the city up to the temple where Sigurd and Charlie are. And it is, you guys notice Whistle before you notice Nicola.
I wave at Whistle. I'm like, hi.
You get bird chips.
Underneath the cloak, there's just a little nudge of the hand from the cloak just up just as the wave?
No, you just get bird chirps.
No, that's what I'm doing.
Oh,
I want people to see him. Actually, no, I'd be wearing my smithing gloves, so it'll just be the wave. It's like, oh, you have such a good idea. I'm not wearing gloves, just... It's gonna be running theme now.
so what are you guys doing?
Why are we here again?
To see what more we can learn.
About the bugs.
Mhm.
Okay.
After you all. And I open the doors if there are doors.
There's doors.
Go ahead and open them up. And usher them in.
Okay.
Welcome to my school of learning.
I knew I forgot to grab one of the sheets here.
In the background, we just hear Dorime.
So on the door is a symbol of a silver quill.
Mm-hmm.
There's also
Oh, it's
on
God, pausing.
on the same door below the quill is a emerald leaf and a carnelian hourglass.
Mm-hmm.
When you enter the temple, there are multiple what are obviously priests and clerics in different robes, and there are multiple statues going up and down the pathways, and it's not a given like, oh, if you go down this pathway it's strictly for this religion, or like there's in a good example, there's a statue of Venora, and then right next to it is a statue of Duendare.
Oh wow, they just have all of them.
No, it's
Oh, well, one of them's the
Fosm, Llewellyn, and Gaia.
yeah.
Life, nature, and knowledge. Were
Yeah.
the ones that were named.
It's also death. It's hourglass.
But would there be specific priests or head priests that govern over saints? Or have better knowledge of the saints?
Yeah, there are some of the priests that would have more knowledge and so forth.
Since I follow Dundare more than just Fozzen,
Okay.
would I know who in that branch of knowledge I would be trying to find the person who handles Yinks.
Okay. Give me a investigation.
This is not my strong suit.
No, it is not. Your passive investigation is pretty crap.
Yeah, because I have a nothing. Oh wait, no, I have a +1. It's charisma that I don't have shit for.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I would be with Dude Dare.
That would be a 21.
21. Congratulations.
Because natural 20s don't fucking matter.
Yeah. It takes you a little while to find him, but you do find one of the priests of Yinks.
And I'm in okay standing here?
Yeah.
Okay.
They know who you are.
Okay, then
But they don't-
as soon as I go in, I would have pulled the hood back.
Well, I was about to say they know who you are, but it's probably where you still like you're just the tall one to them.
Okay.
That's funny because I'd be the same. I'd be with the knowledge pantheon. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
specifically
same.
Yinks.
That you will be Karen.
Sorry?
I would be the same, except that I would be Karen.
We all hit. You hit Karen and St. Cole. We have covered the knowledge tree. Fozzen is our patron deity of what the fuck is wrong with these people. And it's a male, female.
It's a male.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Could we have a moment of your time?
Possibly.
Let me introduce you to these folk. This would be Whistle and Nicola, and Charlie from just passing.
Right. The troublemaker.
Hands in your pockets. No more taking things, especially from here. Thank you.
What is it that you need?
We are on a information gathering for Lord Bjork,
Right.
and we are trying to find out more about these clockwork beetles, and maybe the teachings of Yanks would have more insight into this.
1 gold.
I hand it over.
Thank you.
He takes the gold.
Oh, for
pockets
you,
it,
it's 2 silver.
He pockets it, and he
And
walks.
I go ahead and step back and let everybody else ahead of me.
He walks over to one of the side rooms and produces some keys and unlocks the door. And this will be your room.
Thank you very much, sir.
And when you enter the room, it's about 5 chairs and a table.
Nice.
Nothing else in it.
Sit.
He shuts the door, and after a couple of minutes,
We got him. The non-human. Kill him.
after a couple of minutes, a different priest walks in with a book and places the book on the table and then sits down.
All right.
I don't really know how to work with this stuff.
Nicola, I think you would be better at this. You notice that Sieg's hands are staying underneath his cloak the entire time.
Right. Yes, may I look through the book, or are you the only one who can touch it?
You have paid to touch.
Okay.
I am here to make sure you do not take.
Charlie. There's a tiny little dick pic in the corner.
You would have drawn that.
So yeah, I'm gonna start trying to research for clockwork beetles and clockwork activated by magic.
Okay. Give me a investigation check.
Yinks, the god of inventions.
Yep.
Or, sorry, the saint of inventions.
Saint.
19.
19. Okay. So 19, there are tons of clockwork inventions that have been created throughout the time that are documented. There are mentions of clockwork beetles, clockwork dogs, clockwork people. There's even a couple of them that mention what's it's called a clockwork spider, but it definitely the sketch of it does not look like a spider, as much as it looks like some weird insect with needles for legs, and it has what looks like a spool of thread attached to its back. And then when you come across any of the there are also multiple entries for automatons that are done by magic, which then gets into all of the different golems and so forth.
Does the clockwork spider look anything like what the beetle turned into when we were?
No.
Okay.
Are there any sketches in it that look
Yeah,
remotely
so do
similar?
you see anything like
The worm is not in there.
Does it say who invented what or where it came from?
So a lot of them are different gnomes and different. It's just different gnomes throughout and some of them are human, but the ones that specifically talk about gnomes, it's always a gnome from another land. It doesn't ever specify where. It almost seems like it's been erased.
So, what I'm getting from this is it could have been something a gnome made.
Maybe. And this is going through the entire book, yes.
I mean, this is
Just clockwork.
looking for certain things.
We would need to avoid anything that would come before a steel era, at least. Sole usages of copper predate the implication of steel, and there is at least copper and steel in this.
Give me another investigation check.
You or who's doing it?
Did we lose you?
oh, what? Sorry.
One more investigation check.
Oh, okay. No, it bleeped out, so I just heard give me a, and that was it.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Can I help him?
You can.
Okay.
So he rolls with advantage.
Thank you for that. It's another 19.
He goes,
When you start looking at the different clockwork beetles, there's multiple like patterns for them. None of them talk about any like magical usages with them. Some people create them and they're used as like a familiar, but they are not magical in any shape, form, or fashion. It's more along the lines of somebody created it and it is there like, oh, this is my familiar. Don't you enjoy it? And it's a.
he goes,
Well, they're mostly known for being noisemakers.
It's trinket, basically.
Yeah, and the reason that they're considered a noisemaker is when any of them that can actually fly, whenever they it's noted that when they take airborne, they make a rhythmic buzz for all of the clicking and whirring that takes for them to fly. But there's multiple styles, like there's designs for making them look like scarabs. Some of them look like multiple different beetle types. Some even look like the rhinoceros beetles and stuff like that.
and would this person be, is he just a bookkeeper, or is he also a priest that studied?
You don't know?
Gotcha. You wouldn't happen to know anything about clockwork beetles that have magical properties on them? Kind of like we were looking at one last evening, and when we tried to deduce if it had magic or not,
It's self-destructed.
transformed, attacked us, and exploded before we could even finish casting the spell. Well, before our college. I don't know what the term of somebody that is attending college would be.
Student.
Yeah, our college student had finished casting.
The guy thinks for a second, and I would confer with those of Karen's proper teachings. I know a little, but from what you describe, it sounds like a timer of magic put onto clockwork more than other things.
We have been tasked with the reason we came to you is we've been tasked with finding the origin of these little clockwork beetles.
There's not many in town that make them.
But there are some in town that do.
One or two.
You wouldn't happen to know where they are at, would you? Bing.
There's one in one of the family homes.
You wouldn't happen to know which family home, would you?
I couldn't tell you their name. They're the one on the outskirts of town.
I can't tell if that. No, that is a windmill.
To the northwest.
Okay, so the one to the northwest.
Thank you very much.
The other builder, he would be in the center of town. I would start there before I would go to one of the families.
You start?
You would probably. He just goes by Tinkerer, but his name is Ashtrith.
Astrid?
Ashtrith.
Astrith. Okay.
Tinkerer named Astrith.
Ashtrith.
Thank you. Ashrith. But he goes by Tinkerer.
Yep.
Seems like that's our next scope.
Mm-hmm.
He might have more information than what we have. He's definitely specialized in things of that nature.
Thank you very much. Been a great help.
And the entire time it's hood over hands in.
Yeah.
Like I'm not looking him in the eye.
Is there a priest of Karen here that we could consult with?
Yes. Would you like me to get him?
If you please.
He closes the book and picks it up and walks out the door. After a couple of minutes, another person, a female, comes in, and I was told you need help.
Well, hoping maybe you have some information, at least, or can shed some light on an issue we were having.
Right. What is it?
So we were given a clockwork beetle, and I was trying to detect magic on it. And before I could finish the spell, it came alive and attacked. And then after we fought it, it exploded into light or electricity. Does that sound like a spell put on the clockwork, or is it potentially it was magical itself?
Well, it coming alive and attacking, I would say that would be a typical thing of clockwork.
It also
But it
seems to
transformed, like it grew. Did we notice anything in the research saying of any kind of clockwork that would transform like that?
No.
Where it would grow? Okay. So, this actually changed shape. It grew.
So you would have a transmutation spell on it somewhere.
That may be possible.
It could be triggered by numerous things, whether under attack, something. There's numerous ways to do it.
Would you think it felt like it was being attacked when he was trying to cast a spell? What was it? Detect magic on it?
I wouldn't know. I'm not the one that put the spell on it.
Okay.
It could have many triggers. Some where you try to differentiate where it's from, or something like that. If you try to scry on it, it could set it off. There's numerous ways you could set it.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna guess that would be a wizard who would do such a thing.
Wizards, sorcerers, the dirty warlocks.
Okay.
What was the other one? Wizard, warlock, and what?
Sorcerers.
Okay.
Is there anything else you need me for?
That's it.
I think that's it for me.
Glad we didn't bring Crusher because he was like, I got this really bad rash. And
That will be 1 silver.
Yes.
Oh, I'll be sure to let Crusher know that.
She takes her
Maybe 1 silver.
1 silver. Somebody.
Oh, I thought that was for the bad rash.
No.
My bad.
Yeah, I was trying to make sure I wasn't the joke to that. No, I'll give it over.
Alright.
She pockets it, and is there anything else you need?
Don't believe so.
Take care and bless you.
God bless.
And you?
Pause and look over your studies.
Yes. She opens the door, and this time she doesn't shut it. Like, they leave it open.
I guess that's our cue.
Yep.
Yep.
Everybody get the fuck out.
Guess we're going to the center of town now.
Shit.
What?
You know, I forget that I'm playing a spellcaster sometimes. I forget I'm playing a cleric that has guidance. Damn it.
Wait, you're a cleric?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know what class you were. I'm sorry.
No, I'm a cleric. I'm a cleric, but I try my best not to cast spells. Although I did do it in front of Lord Bjork, so he knows that I'm not completely fucking
Bjark.
useless. Bjork.
Yeah.
That way he knows I'm not completely useless to this.
He was
Besides
like,
being
I only
your
wanted to be for
caretaker.
the child.
Yeah. Hell, I should have just sold you to him right then and there. Dirty little rat lover. You can steal
Hey,
his shit.
Rats are very nice company if you're good to them.
I think we are headed to the center of town then to find the Tinkerer.
It takes you a good portion of the, like, trying to weasel your way through town and whatnot. And this time Whistle, because it's more than just him and one other, isn't ducking through like 100 places. Not to mention, he knows for a fact that there's no way that Sigrun could duck through some of the areas that he goes through.
Try and slide through and just get stuck.
But Whistle leads the way, and it is like it's one of those, he knows exactly where he's going. And he takes you to a little shop and it is, you're pretty close to the center. Like, you are not too far from the castle itself.
Oh,
And there is a stone, like, brick and mortar building, and on the front of it is an actual moving clock on the sign.
I'm just like, I'm so amazed. I'm just like, oh.
Yes, you
me
can
and-
stay with him now. I can actually use my metal.
Thought you liked hanging out with me.
Come on, you'll be the one talking to him more likely. Off you go.
I go in the door.
When you when you enter the shop, it is dark, hard to make out a lot of things, but you do hear the constant like ticking and whirring of different things. There's a few like springs that you hear go off. There's a couple of what sounds like cuckoo clocks going off on a regular basis. And after a couple of seconds, you hear a what?
Hello.
And all of a sudden, like from the counter, there's a head pops up, and then like you can tell that they sort of scurry a little bit behind the counter, and then like a head and a body appears, and he's, "What can I do for you?"
Oh. Is this look human? Does he look human?
Sort of.
Has he got any robot parts? Like clockwork parts?
No,
does he have slightly pointy ears?
no.
Okay.
His face
I'm
is a
wondering
little,
if this is gnomish.
his face is chubby.
Well, I'm Charlie, and this is my friends, and we we actually have a couple questions for you about the clockwork bug thing.
Clockwork bugs.
Yes,
There's lots of clockwork bugs. We can have spiders. We can have beetles. We can have
beetles.
ants and
Beetles.
and roaches and the there's those snakes and well, that's not a bug. But
Beetles that transform into worms.
Do you know
yeah,
anything
that's-
about that?
That's not a normal thing.
Have you seen something like that happen?
Oh, I mean, I haven't personally seen it. I've read there's a book. I can't remember. Someone in the area of Titch at one point wrote a book about these weird things that can be transformed.
By magic?
Yes. They figured out a way using elves and gnomes together to come up with like yes.
So elves and gnomes are working together to make beetles that turn into other things? Magically?
Specifically clockwork.
Yes.
The gnomes do the clockworking and then the elves do the magicking.
Ah,
Okay. Do you know in what area they could be found?
Well, I mean, Titch is
No.
a very large area, and it's like many miles away.
do you know where we might be able to pick up that book?
Mm-hmm.
And the entire time, I'm looking to see if he has spare parts just laid out for sale. Like, looking at certain different types of springs and cogs.
It does not look like anything's laid out for sale,
Oh, okay.
per se. There are cogs and springs and whatnot on the walls and whatnot.
Okay,
but
then I am looking at those, trying to just get a bead in my head of, alright, it's this big around, spiraling, la da da da, so I can learn how to make those.
And he book the one book. I mean, it's my personal book. I think I still have it. I might have it. I don't know.
Can we borrow it?
No.
Can we just read
Take
it?
some notes.
Can we read it here?
from it?
In front of you? And so you know we're not taking it from you?
Well, that would mean I'd have to go and find it, and I don't know exactly where it's at. And like he reaches into like a box of springs and pulls out a book. He goes, "It could be any of these."
You know the title?
Yeah, I don't remember.
He reached in a box of springs and pulled out a handful of books.
Yes.
Meaning that that book could be in any box. Motherfucker.
We can help
Would
you
you
find
like
it.
help finding the book?
Well, why would I want finding the book? You're the one that needs the book. I don't need the book.
Well,
Do
I
you
just
mind if we look for the book?
But I do mind, because then you have to go into my house, and that's a bad thing.
I don't really know how to talk to people that well, so.
Mm. So you have no clue what the name of this book was.
I mean, it was a book. It was wrote, I mean, it's an old book. I couldn't really tell you too much of it, other than the fact I know I read it.
Mm.
I'm sure the library has one somewhere.
Question. You said that it was a process done with gnomes and elves.
Right.
Did it specifically say it had to be done with gnomes and elves?
Well, I figure if anybody could make the clock work, that would eliminate the gnomes. But why would you want to eliminate the gnomes? The gnomes make it better. Right.
But is it like a type of elven only magic?
That I just do the clocking.
So you're a gnome.
Last I checked.
This makes this a lot easier. And the hood comes back and I just
Oh God.
and I just stand all the way up.
Don't worry, he's friendly. But no, we seriously need to find this book because we seriously need to figure out about these beetles because I really, really want to build one.
They're also very dangerous, and she'll be
They
making us
exploded.
it's not
They
dangerous.
exploded.
Yes.
Yes, this is why we're trying to find information so we can find the ones that escaped.
Oh, there's more.
Yes, and we're
Yes.
trying to figure out where they are.
So, I didn't make them. Don't think.
But what you just said is somebody wrote a book on this about making them and then magic being involved.
Right.
You
You
know
know-
the family name of that has the tower to the northwest of the city?
Well, yes.
Who deals with clockwork?
Yes.
You think they might know more as well?
I would not.
Are they not nice?
You're the second person to say that.
Have you ever dealt with the families?
Generally, no. As
Yeah.
I'm just gesturing at my face.
I mean,
I put it this way. I'm more accepted than you,
Yes, most people are.
and I don't like dealing with the families.
are they rude?
Most of the families believe that there's definitely a hierarchy, and that, well, he doesn't belong.
Oh,
I should also not know magic.
no. That's disappointing. I was really
Well-
hoping to find that.
You need to leave.
I don't know much about it.
No. You leave stink, then. You need to leave. I don't need it in my place.
I bow my head and I immediately walk out. Shit everywhere.
So,
What was the name of the family in that town?
yeah.
Well, that would be barracks.
Barracks?
The barracks. Uh-huh.
Mm.
I think we have a lead then.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time. I really wish you would have let me borrow that book, but okay.
Well, I don't know where the book is, so I can't let you borrow it. And then,
Uh-huh.
plus, if I let you borrow it, you might not come back to me, and then I won't have it when I need it, because I need to build something from it, and I need to go find it. Then I can't find it because you have it.
I get that.
I don't know that.
I'll try to. We'll figure it out.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Wait, do you have the beetle?
No, we tried to. Wait, do we have pieces?
Yeah.
Give me the pieces.
No.
I
I'm outside.
know. I go. I'll be right back. And I go outside. Give me the pieces.
Why?
He wants to see them.
Evidently in the door, I'm pulling pieces out and putting them in her hands.
I go back inside and I'm like, here's what we have.
He pulls out a mat and like places it down on top of other springs and whatnot that's on his table, and then like points for you to put him down on it. And he like hops down off of his stool, waddles off, and comes back, and he's now got these like goggles on, and he starts like moving all of these different. It's got multiple lenses on it, and he's moving them and like looking at it, and he's ooh.
I know, really cool, right?
Did you notice that this is inscribed?
No, I didn't.
There's runes.
I don't look for that type of stuff.
Ooh.
Nobody else tried to look.
I didn't think about it.
I didn't think about it.
I
What
can't,
kind of rooms?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Are
can't read it.
Are they transmutation rooms or?
I have no idea.
No,
It'd be fucking hilarious if they were written in giant.
Oh, let me. Can I? I'll try to read it.
Give me first a perception check.
That's a 5.
As much as you like try to look for them, you can't see them.
Where are they?
And he like takes like a needle, and he points on it, and like even with him pointing, you're lost. Like it just looks like smooth metal to you.
Oh.
let me try.
Do you want me to?
You leave the stink outside.
I'm not asking to come in,
I mean, that's
but I might be able to see something in the sun.
I just see blank metal, but
Anyway, so I don't understand any of these runes. They're in a weird language. Yeah, but I can tell you that this isn't barrack made.
it's not.
No, they like to stamp their stuff so that everybody knows who did it.
Mm-hmm.
This has none of their stamps.
Okay. Do you?
They would stamp each individual piece.
Does it
I'm
look?
trying my best to actually listen in as well.
Does What's the question I'm trying to think here? Does anything stand out to you that's like elvish or gnomish on it?
Well, I mean, it looks gnomish. This cog here and this one here, definitely gnomes made those. Some of this doesn't look gnome. Some of it's made out of heavy steel. I don't know why they would do that. But yeah, definitely gnomes involved at some point. They might not be like fully gnome. It might just be parts of it are gnome. But the barracks are really, really keen. When you ask if they would stamp every individual piece, don't you stamp every individual thing you make?
No.
Well, then you're a poor maker. Because I want to make sure that I get paid for everything I do, and everyone knows that it's mine.
I understand that because me as a tinker, I would stamp every piece. I put a signature.
I try and read the runes.
Yeah. Give me a perception check to read first. Or to find them.
11.
11?
While he's reading that, I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, you want to see some of the stuff I made?
Sure.
I pull out little tiny, like.
He like right.
What could I work on?
So you're just starting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good. If you've been doing this for years, I would be like very, very distraught for you.
I'm trying my hardest. It's just
Is it the assembly or the actual materials?
yeah. just using
There's a
scrap metal
possibility
right now.
this gnome dies today.
I'm just using scrap metal for now, but
Right.
No, one of my traces says I take it to the chin. Even though it's, I specifically say from the race of men, doesn't mean I should take it from gnomes.
Good luck on improving. I'd like to see stuff later, maybe. Maybe.
I think I could do really good.
We'll see. And he like puts it back down on the mat, and he stop. Are you going to purchase anything?
No, we just came here to ask you a couple questions because the temple people said that you would probably be our best bet to get information from.
Right. So you don't need cod or spring.
I don't.
Or
We have cod, spring, cod. Spring. Hammers. Notches. Brakes.
I don't need any of that right now. I'm sorry.
Tighteners. Locks.
I love this guy. So, what is the... Paige, what did you find out?
You need. And he like puts a device on the table.
What's
You
this?
need it.
What's that? I try to figure it out.
Give me an investigation check.
Wow, this dice hates me. That was
Let me see.
I'm writing
Oh.
the giant runes for dumbass in the dirt
That's
right
actually
outside
7.
his
You know
door.
what?
that's a 7.
7. You pick it up and like move it around a little bit, and he's
Sorry. Mulg.
look, and he like touches there's a looks like a little dragon, and he touches one of the spines on the back of it. The dragon's mouth opens, and a little flame comes out.
I know someone who'd love that. Somebody with a cigar, maybe.
How much is it?
Yes, 25 gold.
Oh, I don't have that much money.
What?
I only have 9. I'm poor. Nobody pays me for
She's
anything.
definitely a child.
Nobody pays me for anything, and I point in his direction.
Fine. Okay.
Bullshit. You get the metal I'm using.
So, you're not here to purchase.
No,
Just pick my brains.
you're also very nice.
We would have purchased the book.
Yeah, we would have.
My block.
I would also be interested in talking with a deal, but you kicked me out.
It's because you smell dirty, and I don't need that on me. The gauntlet will beat me.
Why do you think I said I don't do that shit?
You smell dirty. The gauntlet will beat me. We can talk elsewhere.
Come to my shop.
Where is that?
I give him directions to the forge I work at. If you give me time and blueprints, I can make you almost anything, or any piece in it,
Ooh. We see.
such as springs or cogs, pieces of locks,
Oh,
for you to be assembled.
so
Now I can upcharge the fuck out of this guy.
taking time. Huh. What would you charge for somebody talking to you and not buying something?
2 silver.
That sounds good.
Justify copy, right?
Jesus Christ, child.
2 2 silver? And he puts his hand out.
I give him a piece of gold and I'm like, can I-
Hey, here you go.
The giant symbol of Moog is right outside his doorstep, not like carved into his wall or anything, but in the dirt, and it stands for bad and shame.
What's my change, by the way? I forgot.
8 silver.
8 silver.
Okay.
Hey, anything else?
Mm,
If you need parts, you know where to come.
yes, I scoop up my little pieces. I put them in my pocket.
Yeah, if you need parts, you know where to come. Sieg can make them.
Thank you.
Yep.
And then I leave. Where's
Where are you?
Nicola in this whole thing?
Oh, here.
He hasn't said a single thing.
What?
You didn't say
He's been
anything.
kind of like staring into space. Because I was trying to read the cog, and apparently that wasn't happening. So now I'm following after you.
I don't know where we're going after this because they said it wasn't barrack made.
We would be barrack made, but I know a barrack, so we might be able to ask some questions.
Okay, fancy smancy.
Yes. I am by no means fancy.
Well, you know all these rich people, and I don't know any.
Says the man
Who
who
knows
knows
one?
Cullen.
Oh, wait, I never met Cullen. Never mind.
Nope.
Nope.
Says the man who has a patron of Lord Bjork.
Give you a patronism
Yeah.
anyways. What's so special about you?
Wait, if you know magic and you have a patron, doesn't that make you a warlock?
No,
I haven't gone to the college. I don't know.
no, that rocks make
As we
bad deals.
destinations.
So where are you guys headed?
I have no clue because we're not going to the barracks because it's not barrack made, but it has some gnomish stuff to it. I don't know where we could. I don't know who
But
would
they
make
might-
heavy steel.
They might know more information about it.
Yeah, but I don't.
There's
wanna,
also going to the library.
I don't want to deal with them. From the way he made it sound, they don't like you very much.
I won't go in. My guessing is that Whistle and I will stay outside.
No. Do you want to go to bed?
I mean, I figured we can get some more info from him.
Well, if you want to go get more info, we can. I just don't know this person, so.
I mean,
And
y'all
he
can stay
does.
outside. I will talk to him at the front door.
Okay.
But then, of course, the lady I know is here.
Ooh, lady. Is it a girlfriend?
No.
Oh.
You do realize we just met this man not even 24 hours ago. Yes.
Yeah, so?
Personal questions. What the fuck?
What?
I understand. You're interested in what relationships will be like when we marry you off. Or, well, I say we, when your parents marry you off.
I don't even know where they went. They said they were gonna go do something, and then they never came back.
Hey, you remember when I just said personal stuff? So, we're going to the barracks.
Boots.
Well, the family barracks, not the barrack barracks.
You're
Alright. Lead the way, sir. Apparently you know one.
well, I know them, but I don't know where they were here. But
Oh.
pretty sure whistled them.
The family tower to the northwest.
Outskirts of Northwest.
It's actually, and I point to the tower. That would be to the northwest. 'Cause these things are tall as hell and you can see them from the city, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I point to the
Yeah,
tower.
listen, we're trying to get to there.
Whistle makes a couple of bird noises and starts on his way off. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode. So, I want to thank everybody for coming out and watching tonight. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that like and subscribe button. Come on over to Twitch, hit that follow button. That way you can join us live when we're doing all of this. And if you're new to the D&D stream, I do answer questions about it on the Discord, and there are multiple other episodes from other series that we've been doing throughout this time. I'm Shinigami Tavris, also known as Boomer. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful night, wherever you are. Until next time, everyone, peace.